Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, you may have seen over the last, 2, 3 months or so, something like that, a lot of ambulance chasing lawyers advertising their services for people who've bought cars over the last 10 years. Come and sign up and you can get £2,000, £4,000, up to £10,000, whatever it is. These opportunistic sharks would then do the necessary, sue the car makers for selling you the car that you signed on, and you read the contract before signing, obviously, and then they'd take their cut, which would be about 60%. Yeah, they are greedy bastards, aren't they? Well, I hope you haven't signed up, because what's really great is they've had to do all this. They've had to pay to get the adverts made. They've had to pay to get them put out and distributed on YouTube. They've had to do all the necessary paperwork to set all these things up in place. They've probably had to hire people, and it's fantastic. It is fantastic until about 20 minutes ago, as I'm making this. It's 20 past 5. But at 5 o'clock, the High Court announced that they are reversing the decision by an earlier court. And it's got a huge significance. Millions of motorists won't be able to claim the compensation for mis-sold car finance. This judgment, which was handed down after the financial markets closed today, because they didn't want to open. This is why it was so late, unusually late, but they did it late because they wanted the financial markets to close. This overturned a ruling by the Court of Appeal in October that said that hidden commissions paid into car dealers were unlawful. And it turns out, no, they're not. No, they're not. Now, that original ruling was based on test cases, and it said that making such varied payments to brokers arranged car loans without disclosing the sum and terms to borrowers was unlawful. However, the bank said no, it's subject to basically trade secret. It's under the trading secret. Now, there was lots of people appealed to the Supreme Court, including, of course, for Close Brothers, who were the biggest, I think. They said that this could end up costing them £44 billion because of all the cars that have been sold over the last 10 years or so. And of course, what would this mean would be the banks would have to pay this, and that would then utterly destroy the banks. 44 billion coming out of the banking system would it would break the banks. So they'd have a lot of trouble, because if they had to pay that money out, they would then not be able to would not be able to make loans, because the loans they make are a direct result of the value of the bank. They have to have so much value in order to make the loans. It would have been absolutely disastrous for banks had that gone through. It would reflect badly on Britain as a place to do business. And it may well have been an almost unique situation where the Chancellor of the Exchequer, given that she does have the powers, but they've never, I think, to my knowledge, been used, or very, very rarely used, would have been able to step in and effectively overrule the court. She could have got the court to put that in abeyance, and they could have rushed through within the course of this weekend, a recall of Parliament, and rushed through a law to limit the sums available for compensation. That was one of the options on the table, and that's now being taken off by this. It would have damaged Reeves even more, because with the banks going down, no financing available, so no growth or anything. It was a very, very, very serious case. Now, about 9 in 10 cars bought these days are bought using finance from the big sort of finance companies, rather than people going out and getting a personal loan. It's just so much easier, apparently, and it is. I mean, it's geared up for that. But basically, the court has said that it's not illegal to as long as you make it clear that there will be a payment to a broker, it's not unlawful to hide what the value of the payment is. Because it's there, and it's allowed to be because it is of a sensitive trading nature. It could damage businesses if they were forced to reveal that figure. effectively. So it's been overturned. So all those lawyers sitting there going, oh, bollocks. Because they'll have signed all those people up, they'll now have to unsign them. And of course, it costs money to register for these class actions. They have to pay in. And that money is not refundable. Now, not the people. You sign up, you get it for nothing. It's win or bust. You don't get paid. But the lawyers have to pay for the class action. That's all gone away. It couldn't happen to a nicer bunch, could it? Honestly, it brings one of those little stories that just brings you joy. Anyway, there we go. Thanks very much, and thank you greatly to the Supreme Court for making my day and screwing the lawyers. Cheers. Bye.